Hey guys, Arkansas Garage here. Today I'm doing a little bit of customizing to my daughter's car. I'll show you what I've done so far. This is her 2019 Mustang. All we've done to it so far is, you can barely see it, but there's a Black Widow decal on the side. It's easier to see outside, but anyways, you kind of get the idea. We've done that. We've painted her rotors red with some red rotor paint. On the back of her car here, she did have the factory spoiler on here. The spoiler came off. Well, she had a 2016 Ford Mustang. Took this off of her old car, stuck it onto her new one. So what we're going to do today, here's what it looks like in the back. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take this one off and we're going to put a GT style wing on the back. We're also going to put some louvers on this back glass and put some louvers on these little side windows. I'll show you what we got here. Here's the back louver. Here's the GT style spoiler. And here's the side vents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a time lapse, I believe, and show you how we're doing this. Alright, hope you enjoy it. Alright, so whenever I put this spoiler on the back of the car, all we used was 3M emblem tape. If you don't have any, you can buy it at Lowe's. It's some really good stuff. I think the kind we use can hold like up to 45 pounds or something. So there's actually holes underneath here. I think there's a couple holes here, here, and here. We didn't use those holes for the spoiler because the spoiler was actually made for a different model Mustang, but it fits on here. So here comes the fun part of ripping this off. It was extremely fun trying to get it off her last car. So I imagine it's going to be fun to get it off again. Let me get a towel and wipe some of this moisture off. And before you do anything like this, to me, I think it's good to go ahead and wash your car, which that's what she's done. Doing something like this, it would probably be better doing it during the summertime, just so that way this tape has been warmed up. And I'm telling you what, once you stick this stuff on there, it is on there. When I took it off her last car, I could have cared less how it affected the car because unfortunately it was totaled out. So now I gotta figure out how to take it off of this one without damaging it. Alright guys, so this is sticking extremely good. What I'm gonna end up doing is I have some fishing line. This is spider wire. I mean, this is some pretty strong stuff. I'm gonna be pulling on it on one side as she's going back and forth and kind of sawing that tape off. Let's see. Alright, so what you need to do, we might have to do it like this so you can get to it. When we put this string in here, you want to start from right here. You want to kind of lift up so it's not hitting your paint very much. You come over here on this side. And if you need to, get it like this, wrap it around your hands, and then come over here, wrap it around your hands. Alright. It might be easier if you kind of come like that right there. Bring this hand up a little bit. I'll tell you what, let me just Or do you want to lift this up and me saw it?
No, keep going.
There we go. Alright, let me show you what I've done here, guys. As you can see, here's the emblem tape. Since I didn't use the screws, I used that. I covered up the holes of the screws right here. I'm going to pause the video here. It's going to take me a little bit to get all this emblem tape off of here. Alright, so far what I've done is, let me grab this. Got this Goo Gone, and I sprayed the residue on all that emblem tape. I'm going to go ahead and let it soak a little bit. While I'm letting it soak, I'm going to go ahead and put the back on. I'm going to put the side glass on. What I did is I ended up cleaning all these windows with Windex. Make sure they were all clean, especially around the edges, because that's where all that tape is going to go. After that, I got this wax and degreaser. Just to be on the safe side, I went ahead, went around all the edges, dried it off real good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set my camera up and I'll show you us installing this. Alright guys, I hope this shows up in the video. What I don't like peeling all this backing off. I like to give me a couple little ears so that way I can place it where I want, because once this emblem tape sets, it is hard as heck to get off, as you can tell with that spoiler. So just leave a little bit hanging like this, set it where you want it, push down. As you pull off, you'll see how we're going to do this. Alright, so remember, don't let your side touch. I'm going to do my side first. You can get close, just don't touch it. That's okay. And guys, what I did here is I just pulled a little bit over here. I want to make sure this side is lined up. And pull slow and don't break it off like I did. Goodness, are you kidding me? Hey, give me those pliers in my toolbox.
How are these?
Those aren't pliers. Here, stick this one in so I can close this. tweezer.
Upstairs.
Guys, when you press this down, try not to get too close to this, your little pull tab here, because it'll make it harder to peel off, kind of like what I did up there. Alright, so that side's on. Let's start. Go ahead and grab that other side vent over here. Turn this camera over here, guys. As you can see on the side vent, again, I left myself some little tails to pull off right here. You really got to watch these because they are definitely fitted. See, you don't have much room to play with on the top and the bottom. Once you get to this point, you don't have to worry about pressing down. Just pull it away a little bit because you know the top's lined up and it's not going to get off. Just come down the side, press it down, work your way around. And it's that easy. This is the easy part. Unfortunately, the spoiler is going to be a pain. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here. I'm going to get this cleaned up on the trunk, I'll spare y'all the boredness in doing that. I'll be right back. Alright guys, we used that goo gun, got all the junk off of there. I went ahead and used that wax and degreaser. Went all the way across, well, basically did this whole deck lid because that goo gun leaves like it's kind of like an oily residue. Use that wax and degreaser. It's what painters use before they paint vehicles. Gets any kind of oily and junk stuff off of it. After I did that, I ended up putting a real thin coat of wax. I'm going to let this dry, and well, plus you can't see it right now, but you can see very light scratches around the corners where we used that fishing line. But nothing major. I guarantee you after we buff this wax out that you won't ever be able to tell. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and I'll see you back here in just a second. I should have showed this, but there's you get these plugs. One here, you need to take that one out, and you can see right inside there's where one of the bolts go. There's another plug that's on this side. Just pop it out. This piece, let me put this back. This piece right here is kind of a pain. You gotta be real careful when you take it off because you can actually break it. And the reason why it's hard to get off is because if you can see, there's a lip that goes all the way around, and it holds around this back edge. Your best bet is to take it off, is try to get underneath here, pry up just a little bit, and it'll slide right off. You get to this part. These right here are on each side. All you got to do is unscrew those. There's one on each side. And then you have these here. You got one on this side. You have one on this other side. All you got to do is pull those out. You don't have to worry about all these other ones. Just as long as you can just get this piece back. If you look underneath there, there's where that hole is, and that hole is for the middle of the spoiler. Alright, I'm going to pause the video here and I'll see you back. Alright guys, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and fit this on. We did this freaking seal here kind of stupid. These you can actually seal up on the spoiler itself. This one's backwards, so this is going to seal up towards the car. Hey, hand me the razor blade in there. No, in the main cave there on the floor. I'll tell you, I probably won't even need it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and peel this stuff off. Peel that off there for me. And this spoiler here, it comes in this piece right here, bolts down. This right here belts down in here. They have these little cover plates. You can cover it up once you're done. You have, let's see, what was it? Three bolts here, two here, and 3 more right there. So I'm going to try and set this on here. Place this where it needs to go. Here, you go ahead and grab this side over here. You just kind of hold it up for me. I gotta set this down in the right spot. Oh, you got it. come over here and hold this. Oh, never mind, I think it'll be fine. And these nuts that come with it, they're 10mm. Of course, they're being made in Japan, I think. Everything is freaking 10mm. I'm going to start by hand first. This is a tricky part, guys. You definitely don't want to drop your bolts inside here, because I'm telling you right now, it is a nightmare to try to get it back. Side. Go ahead and get this other side. Once I get these bolted down, I'll show you what I did. Hand me that flashlight in the toolbox there to the right side. On top. Up there, you see it? On the right top. There you go. Guys, I noticed I forgot to do something here. I'm going to take this spoiler back off and I'll show you what I did. The spoiler here is more than likely made for, well, I mean, it's a GT spoiler, and we're putting it on an EcoBoost Mustang. And imagine the GTs have some extra holes that go all the way through the trunk here. Let me get this off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I just noticed when I put this on here that this hole, this furthest hole, there's no way to tighten it on the inside. Same with that one too. Let me show you. So you can get this one on the inside, but this outside one you're not going to be able to, and you really need to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same size drill, well probably something smaller, go through this hole, that way I can go through the inside, and then once I get on the inside, then I'll drill a larger hole so I can get my socket in there. And there's that goofy gasket that you have to put on the trunk first. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and drill that hole. Best thing to do, I went ahead and drilled one off camera, but you definitely want to put some tape down so you don't accidentally slip and scratch your paint up. And you want to be careful when you drill down, make sure your drill is level and all that good stuff. Alright, I got those drilled. Tape off. And like I said, the only reason we're doing that is we need some sort of pilot hole. So we're lined up. You want to be careful whenever you're drilling downwards like that, because if you're not careful, you can actually drill into your tail light right here. I'm going to go ahead and make these holes just a little bigger. And if you don't have this in your toolbox, you need to. This is a, I don't know if you can see it on camera here. It's a stepping bit. I mean, these are the best things around. I need to get me a towel. I don't want to get all those metal shavings all inside the car. Like this hole right here for this bolt, I mean it looks like it's 3/4. I'm not going to drill it that big. I'm going to just drill it big enough to put my socket inside there. See how close I'm to the hood here. Now you got to be really careful in the stepping bit. Alrighty, that side looks good. Do the other side first. Let me see here. Get my razor blade and just kind of clean up the outside edge here. And I'll bring this camera closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll do this other side now. The stepping bit is almost too long to do this. Actually, whenever I drill through, the tip of the bit actually came out the hole on the other side, so you really got to be careful. do, a little fragments of this off. The bad thing about the spoiler when you get it, you don't get any kind of instructions or anything. So hopefully this video is going to show you the do's and don'ts, and you won't make the same mistakes as I have, putting it on and then finally realizing that you need to drill out those daggum holes. I don't have touch-up paint for this car, but what I'm going to do, this will be good enough, is to cover up the bare metal areas on that where I drilled it. I don't want it to rust or anything. I'm going to put one coat on now. Once I get that spoiler on, I'll put another coat. I'm sure this probably isn't necessary, but hey, while you're here, you might as well do it. Alright guys, we can go ahead and start putting this back on again. And let me show you what I did real quick. These are the outside holes that I was talking about. Alright. So I drilled through this hole, this outside hole, all the way through so I can at least have a pilot hole, as you can see right there. And the same thing here. I'm sorry for these camera angles. The car's backed up so much to where I can't really have a good view on just the back of the car here. Let's try this again. And this is really good at holding itself until you get these nuts on there. Alright, so we got to remember not to drop these because it is a pain to get out. I was afraid I was going to drop them when I was taking it back off. Luckily I didn't. One on the outside here, I ended up having to get a slimmer socket because it didn't give me much for, well, the diameter of this nut is about the same size as that hole. There we go. It's kind of a pain to put on because kind of like at an angle where that hole was. Let's see what this other side's like. thing you guys got to be careful with when you're putting these nuts on them. You don't get really crazy and torque them down. I mean, after all this spoiler is fiberglass, and you don't want to strip anything out. Center ones are probably got to be the worst ones, just because you don't have much room around all these sharp edges in here that'll probably end up cutting myself. You do definitely want to tighten these up enough to where the gaskets do compress. You definitely don't want water to be poured into your car, or in the tractor car. I'm going to see if I can find me something to tighten it up better. I got some little swivels in my toolbox somewhere. I'm gonna pause y'all just a second. Alright guys, I went ahead and tightened it up offline. Definitely, if you have one of these little swivels, it's a lot easier to tighten it up. So there's those two holes. Got those two here. I'm not for sure what this is for. Maybe it's on another model Mustang. I'm not for sure, but you have a stud here, and then you got a female here. I'm not for sure what that's for. In the bag of nuts and bolts and all that stuff, there was nothing for that. And then there's those two. So we'll put this back together. Slide that up. And this piece here, it's easy to go on. Snaps on just like that. Easy to go on, hard as heck to get off. So put these back in. And we'll grab the other one. Grab these. These were the only two. You remember that you have to pull off this one here. These cover up these holes here. And what I'm probably going to end up doing is going to like a hardware store, finding some kind of plastic plugs just to go in here to be on the safe side. Because these holes are on the outside of the seal. Like for instance, this plug here will probably line up around here, and the other one is going to line up here. So I just want to kind of keep the moisture out of it. Oh, I forgot about this. Put that back on. Alright guys, are you ready for the final reveal? Check it out. Doesn't look too shabby. It looks pretty nice. All she's got to do now is get those front windows tinted. Come around the back here. Back looks pretty good. I like that GT style spoiler because it's lifted up quite a bit. Looks more aggressive. Didn't have to color match it. I believe the color on her car is like a what was it? Shadow black, I believe. The spoiler's a gloss black. If you're looking, I mean, in the camera here, you can see a difference. You can see the slight blue metallic in the car here, and then you can see the gloss black in this. But actually in person, it's almost seamless. I mean, you can't tell. I mean, even like me looking at it right here, I don't see a difference, but you looking through it on the camera here, you can see quite a bit of difference. But in person, you can't. Even with the other spoiler that was on there, you couldn't tell the difference. But, I mean, they make these really good. I mean, it follows those body lines in the car. Exceptional. Maybe you can see it better on this side. I mean, you see that body line right there? I mean, that edge follows right across it right there. And guys, if you're interested in this kit, I'm going to put the links in the description. I'm kind of curious on how this rear is going to turn out. You know, the bad thing about it is you have that emblem tape all the way around it. So that means you're never ever going to be able to clean your back glass. Probably what I should have did is they have this, it's not like regular Velcro, it's the it's a really hard plastic type Velcro that has emblem tape on it, just like what's on here. We'll see how this goes. If this back glass gets, you know, way too dirty, I'll probably end up ripping this off and then using that Velcro. And remember, it's not the soft Velcro, it's the real rough plastic type Velcro. But I think that would be a lot better, something that you can snap this off and clean your back glass. But we'll see how it goes. I guess the plus side is if I did have to take it off, that tape would be a lot easier because I can use a razor blade. But the trunk looks really good. Got about 90% of the scratches out of it. But guys, appreciate you watching. I know I hadn't updated or uploaded a video in a while. I do plan on starting back doing that. Just at this moment right now, we're selling our house and we're fixing to move to a new one. I hadn't got to start the Odyssey yet. I'll just give you a quick, here it sets. I end up taking the jug off the engine. Reason being is when I fired this engine up, or not fired it up, I didn't actually fire it up yet, but whenever when I was testing the compression, I had like 110, I believe it was, and I must have, when I homed the jug out, I must have been off slightly, ever so slightly, and I lost my pressure. It went all the way down to 60. I got a hold of this guy. I'm on this Facebook group that has to do with a bunch of Honda FL250s. Bunch of helpful guys. I'll put a link in the description on it too. But this guy, he owns his business. It's called CW Racing. He's out of Bakersfield, California. Told him about the jug and the pressure loss that I had. What he's going to end up doing, he's going to hone the cylinder out, put a bigger piston in there, and he's going to have rings set to actually fit it. You know, I'm not machined to do any kind of stuff like that. I was just hoping, praying that I was going to be able to home it out and use the right size rings that I needed, but evidently not. So I'm kind of curious once I get this back. He's sounds like a really knowledgeable guy. He used to do a lot of racing with Honda Odysseys back in the past, and probably still does. Not for sure, but once I get that back, I'll put together, start her up. If I don't get that far, we'll see. Just because I have a couple people interested in buying it just the way it is. If they do buy it, I'm gonna knock, you know, probably $500 off of it, not putting it together. But if I do put together, I'm not gonna knock any money off of it. But guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, if you like my videos, it kind of throws my video on top of YouTube, and I'll be able to have more people checking out my videos. Don't forget to subscribe. I mean, if you're not really familiar with the way subscribing works, it's not like gonna spam you with a bunch of stuff, but it does let you know that when I do upload videos. And not only that, is the more subscribers that I get, maybe I can start having some sponsors in the future. What I'd like to do is to do a build and probably try to sell some merch. Every time you buy some merch, I'll be able to put your name in a drawing, and the things that I build, I'll be able to let y'all put your names in for it. And you know, heck, you know, if you get like 5 tickets or something, you might be able to, you know, get one of my projects for really cheap. I've seen other guys do that with like cars and stuff. Maybe later on down the road I can do that. That'd be pretty interesting. But guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me your comments, feedback. I'm open for anything. I know my videos aren't the best in the world because I'm using a Samsung S20 Plus, but I'm trying to show as much detail as I can. But if I need to do anything different, just please tell me. All right, guys.